Hi, it's Kris, and today I'm going to be doing my second standard C tutorial. Let's jump right in here. Include the standard library, int main. First, I'm going to create a variable of the char type called C, and I'm going to set it equal to a capital H. I use single quotes here because single quotes are used for single characters, while double quotes are used for strings. Alright, so when we think of this variable that I called C, C is like a container that can hold one character, right? And right now it's holding a capital H. Let's create another variable called str and set to hello, except I need to put a little asterisk right after char. And so when we think of a character pointer, you can look at it sort of like this. Alright, so right now this pointer is pointing to the first letter of the variable, which is E. And that can be represented in memory such as 0. And if you, let's say you threw this into a print function, alright? So first it would go to E, and then it would increment to L, and then increment to the second L, and so on and so forth until it got to this weird looking character at the end here with a slash and a 0. That's null. It's the first in the ASCII table, and it's just null. It's nothing. It's 0. So when you look at E, it would increment it, because the pointers are just numbers. They're just these large numbers that represent a place in memory. So if this was 2005, then this would be 2006. And that's where it would know the next character would be. Alright, so I'm going to use printf, because printf is totally awesome. And I'm going to use one second. Right here in this format, I have this C here, which stands for character, and this S here that stands for string. So it's going to replace, this is the first part of it, and this will replace whatever's here with the first variable, which is a character. And so that would be H. This would be replaced with H. And then right here is the S part of it, and it would replace it with the second part as a string, which would be hello. And then I'm going to teach you the system command. I usually use putchar. Well, not usually, but in standard C I would. But right now I'm going to put system here. And system is a function that will run commands directly as if you were running them through the command line here. Like I could put in echo hello, and instead of print hello, and it would print hello just like that. So what I'm specifically using with the command line here is I'm going to put pause greater than null, which is a pause that's going to wait for me to press another key, and then it's going to continue on. So, and you can go into the command here, and you should, if you type, I think it's, yeah, oh, no, help, then you should get all the commands here that you can probably use right into this system function here. Now let's just run this, and it correctly prints the word hello. So let's screw with this H a little bit here. All characters are represented by numbers, and these numbers are listed on this website right here. It's ASCIItable.com, and the capital H is actually located right here, and in decimal it's 72. Now we can access it by decimal if we put a cast on it. So let's just go back here. We could go, let's first make a new variable. I'm going to call it cur, and I'm going to set equal to c minus 7. Now I can't really minus a character unless I put a cast on it, which is just these parentheses with the data type in it, and then the following variable is going to be represented as that, which is going to represent the h in decimal form. And then I minus 7. So now the integer is going to be 65, which is the capital A. I'm going to create a new variable called I, and I'm going to just write this for loop out. I'm going to go back over in just a second here. Alright, so there's 3 statements in the for loop. First, this is going to be ran right before any loop, and it's never going to be ran again. So we set the variable to whatever we want. In this case, I just set I to 0, and that's what I normally would use for any for loop. And then the second statement is going to be like a while loop. It's going to be like, keep looping while this is true. So as long as I is less than 26, then it's going to keep looping. And right now I is 0, so it's going to keep looping. And then the last statement is I++, and I++ is going to increment it every time it ends with a loop. So first it's going to be 0. The second loop is going to be 1. The third loop is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. In standard C, we don't go int I, we don't initiate the I variable inside the for loop. We do it right outside of it right here. So right now I'm going to show you another function called putChar, and this will just print out, you can put an integer in putChar and it'll output the character form of that. So we can just put cur plus I. Now right now cur is equal to A, so the first loop I is going to equal 0, so A plus 0 or whatever is just going to be A. The second loop is going to be incremented, so it's going to be I is going to equal 1, and then the outcome is going to be B. And that's just going to keep happening until I is not less than 26 anymore, and it writes out the entire alphabet in capital form. Here, I'll just put the get car here as the pause, the second other pause, whatever. Hello, and the entire alphabet. Now let's just make this a little cleaner here. I'm going to put two new line characters, which will allow, we'll just move the cursor down twice before I put the second output. So alright, so we have the entire alphabet in capital letters. Now we could easily just change the value of cur to print out the lowercase version of the alphabet. So right now we take the value of H, which is right here, 72, and we minus it to 65. But the lowercase a is 97. So 97 minus 72 is 25. So we just come in here, and we, instead of minusing 7, add 25. And we have the lowercase alphabet.